Tebe, we are towards the end of 2024. So maybe give us your thoughts and reflections on 2024. What was the year like for you?
The year for me was busy. The year was hectic. I think on a personal note, it was a personally enriching year.
Yes.
It was a year in which, if you will, I got to take a moment and reflect and in a way be acknowledged while I didn't seek it for what I've contributed to this country and to the industry. So I think on a personal year, on a personal note, the year was beautiful. It was enriching. It was affirming. It was saying, keep on keeping on. The journey you've been on is a good journey, and we
Yes.
approve it.
Okay. And you also managed to publish a book in
Imagine.
2024 in all this busyness.
In all this busyness between, I kept traveling,
Yes.
which is a problem.
When is it ever a problem? For me, traveling is never a problem.
Well, I'm constantly on the journey. I'm constantly
Yes.
on the road. I'm constantly speaking in different countries. I'm constantly advising through my company, Brand Leadership. Now this year, we got to put it all together into a book.
Yes.
Into a book, The Traveler. And The Traveler is so interesting because it combines everything together. It combines my personal history, my upbringing, combines my reflections on the work I've done and what I think about it, some of the failures,
Yes.
some of the successes in the work. It talks about my reflections on the continent, what I think we can do better, and just the role of Africa in the world.
Yeah.
So I think it's been a wonderful year in that way. It's been a wonderful year personally from personal achievement.
Yes,
It's been a
yeah.
good year. But from a continent perspective, I think the year again, there's challenges. There remain challenges. As a
Yes.
continent, we owe over $850 billion. We're paying up to 65% of our GDP in
Debt
interest,
repayments,
in debt
yeah.
repayment for our sovereign debts. So we are not yet what we wanted to be. We are not yet Uhuru, if you will. And I think as a continent, we really need to step it up. And from a personal perspective, it's my goal next year to say, how do I help this continent to wake up to its potential, wake up to its truth, and wake up to its beauty?
Yes, yeah. And the book, where can our audience buy the book?
This book, first, is not just a book. Thuli, we have to correct your language.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This is the best-selling book in the country. It's the number one rated book that you can find at Exclusive and at Bargain Books, which is for countries, smaller places which don't have the book. But I'm really, really, really humbled and honored by what this book has done. I never expected that.
Yeah.
But I come from Kimberley. I've always been number one in my life. If this book had not reached number one, it would have been a failure.
Well, I mean, you started a long time ago, the trend of being number one. And then your favorite Christmas memory?
My favorite Christmas memories will always have to go back to my childhood. Because Christmas Eve, my grandmother be cooking, preparing for Christmas.
Yes.
The following day, so we get early, cleaning the stoop, and then going to putting on our new clothes, going
yes.
to church, coming back and eating. You'll never ever be able to replace that.
Yeah.
Never.
Yes.
I mean, my second favorite Christmas memory, maybe I spent it in Antarctica.
Wow.
That's 2019 or somewhere, just before COVID. I was in Antarctica. I was in the middle of nowhere. My third interesting Christmas memory was 1989, my first Christmas in America. I went to spend it at Felicia Mabuza's house because she was still living in America before she came to South Africa. And we went in the middle of the night, at midnight, to see the Ku Klux Klan. The ones who hate all niggers. We saw them at a distance. We're like, so, hey, interesting. But I think, every Christmas is beautiful. It has its own memories. But maybe those three are interesting.
Yes, yeah.
The audience of the success rate. I think it's remembered that, to me, as I always say, success is never final, neither is failure. So whatever challenges you faced this year should be the foundations on which you build your success for the next year.
Farah, it is the festive season, time to be jolly. But before getting there, what was 2024 like for you?
2024 was a tough year, I think, because, like I said, I'm starting another business, but also just understanding myself as a seasoned entrepreneur trying to start a new business. So it's been a lot of lessons for me. But it's been good lessons,
Yeah.
things I needed to know about myself, about my capabilities, things I'd forgotten I'm capable of. So I've been very grateful for 2024. I've enjoyed it.
And I mean, Christmas is mainly a Christian holiday. But being a Muslim, what does Christmas mean for you?
Even though I'm Muslim, I have a lot of Christian family.
Yeah.
So Christmas has always been part of our December holidays. And Christmas for me is something that is all about bringing the family together. And also about going away on holiday and just like shutting everybody out,
Out,
just
yeah.
for a week or so at least. But regardless of religion, I think the holidays are just a time to reflect and spend time with family, and the time that we don't get to spend with them during the year because we're always in a hurry and the hustle and bustle of life generally. So I do look forward to
To that,
Christmas,
yeah.
just to at least see family and just enjoy being with them.
And your biggest aspiration for 2025?
My biggest aspiration for 2025 is creating more financial freedom for myself. Just creating opportunities for myself and enabling myself to have a wider or a bigger net wealth so that I can help other people with that. So I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and be safe on the roads. We'd like to see you in 2025.
It is the festive season. It's around Christmas time. What does Christmas mean to you?
Christmas, to me, a lot of, contrasting stories. I know it's a time for family, which for me, last couple of years I've been able to enjoy that with my mom a lot. A lot of the times I'll be away working and not being with my own family.
Yes.
Which it's time to come together, share stories, and especially if you haven't seen each other for a very long time, over good food, and that is plenty that I get whenever I'm with my family. But I've been able to enjoy those in the last 5 or 6 years of my life compared to earlier days where I was always away busy making other people's Christmas memories good ones. It's also time to look back at what you've been through, and also looking at the changes that you're going to make going forward.
Yeah.
As you said, it's a time of reflection, but it's also a time of reconnecting with loved ones, and definitely over a lot of food and drinking, and dancing,
Yes,
and
yeah.
reminiscing. But very wonderful time that everybody always looks forward to. And sometimes, when family is not around, whoever is around you, it becomes your family,
True, yeah.
but a very special time that we all need to embrace, and, just take time to reflect on what has been and what are your next moves in order to improve,
On that,
on your past experiences. I'd love to wish everybody that is watching this show a Merry Christmas and a very prosperous New Year. Go in there with realistic goals. Really look into yourself and say, what is it that I'm able to achieve, and not wishful, able to achieve given everything that I have, and go for it, If it doesn't happen and it needs another go at it, give yourself options. Go for it again, or say, I'm changing, I'm going to do this. No one's going to blame you. Don't, dwell on one thing that is not working. Give yourself options, but be easy on yourself and don't overburden yourself. Rather have, realistic, minimum realistic goals. And if you've achieved those, then you add one as the year goes. Nobody says you have to wait for the end of the year to work on new ones. As soon as you've achieved whatever that you've set out for yourself, start on the next one. But take small steps.
So we are at the end of the year, and it's time to reflect. So when you think about 2024, what was 2024 like for you?
2024 was a tough year.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very tough, and a lot of things happened. We've lost a lot of artists
Yes.
and just ordinary people. Yeah, it was hard. So I'm hoping, really, really hoping that 2025 will be a better year.
A better year. And what helped you to get through 2024?
I have no idea. I truly have no idea, but I just got through.
Yes.
And I think the album also helped me because I just got into the studio and closed my eyes and said, okay, let's go.
We're doing this.
Yeah.
So talking about 2025, what are your hopes and aspirations for 2025?
I just, first of all, I want to just watch my grandchildren. I hope 2025 one is going now to university, and I'm excited about that.
Yes.
And the other one is going to grade 12, and I'm excited about that.
And there's going to be a matric dance to plan.
Ooh, and a lot of money to spend. So I think that 2025. Every child, every black child in this country must do well.
I like that.
Must be better. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Boza, we are at the end of 2024. So reflecting on the year, what has this year been like for you?
It has been turbulent. It has been exciting. Sometimes it's okay not to be complacent about things. So the ups and downs of it, they also build you up. So I think 2024 has been exactly that for me. Yeah.
And your favorite Christmas memory?
My favorite Christmas memory is my mom, my dad, being in one table. And the one thing, in fact, at the time, my dad worked in Joburg and we lived full-time in Limpopo. And my dad used to bring, the choice assorted biscuits. My dad used to bring cow tongue.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't even want to lie. If you want to imagine even my Christmas now, you must know those things are still featuring.
And lastly, your aspirations for 2025?
2025 is to remain finer and to keep building on this journey that we've started.
Yes.
And also just to be adaptive, man, with the changes that come. We are ready for 25, yeah.
It is the festive season. The year is wrapping up. And if you reflect on your 2024, how would you rate it?
I think 2024 has been probably one of my greatest years because I achieved quite a few things in that 1 year compared to the previous. I won my award for 2024 as a world jazz photographer.
Yes.
And I published my jazz book. And then I signed up with a new gallery that is showcasing my work, Artivist. So that's a serious highlight for me.
That's good. And then Christmas, what is Christmas to you? What does Christmas mean to you?
I, I can't stand Christmas. And not in a bad way, you know. And I know everybody celebrate Christmas. For me, it just brings gloomy images of my past when I was young,
Yeah.
with nothing, but with other kids, you know, showing off their toys, showing off, you know, things that they. Although where I lived, there was no such thing as a. I've never even decorated a Christmas tree in my life, so I'd never really had. I go to church. I do things that I do, but I'm not a, and I don't like
The celebration, yeah.
and the busyness of,
And the
ev-
commercialization.
and the commercialization of it, and then now everybody stop what they're doing. They all packed in the malls. They all, it's like, why don't you do that? Break things in halves, or and do that in a whole year. We have 12 months. Why do you have to stop the whole thing and do everything on that Christmas time? You know, for me, I, it's okay for somebody else, but not for me.
Okay. What are your aspirations for 2025?
2025 is, you know, once you start something, you can't go back. For the first time that I had to go through boxes and boxes of my negatives. Somehow, I don't know how they got saved throughout the years that I had moved around a lot, you know,
Yes.
getting adopted there and then moving there. But I still maintained those negatives. But for the first time, I managed to scan probably 80% of them.
Wow.
And I saw images that I didn't even know that I owned or they're in my possession. So I'm looking to publish another book of 40 years of my existence in photography, because now 2025 will be 40 years as a photographer.
Yeah.
So I would like to have an exhibition of that works. Maybe that will travel the world, and then also have a coffee table book.
No, I definitely felt with the coffee table book that you couldn't put everything, and I felt like
yeah.
I'm sure you have more images, so we need part 2.
Yeah, part 2 of it was supposed to be in 3 parts of
Yeah.
this current jazz book.
Yes.
But I don't know. We'll see how we negotiate with the publisher. But my priority is on the 40th anniversary.
Okay.
Miss Thuli, what is your Christmas message to the public?
So Christmas is an interesting time for my sister and I. Growing up, Christmas was special, but then after my dad passed away, started not being quite the same, you know, because when it's Christmas, you realize that someone is missing. And then after my mom passed away, it then became, wow, where are we going to spend Christmas? And every year, my sister and I go through this session where we discuss where we're going to spend Christmas. What are we going to do for Christmas? Are we going to be in Joburg? Are we going to travel? Are we going to spend it with family? Which relatives? So Christmases are always interesting for us. We spend Christmas with different relatives in Joburg, in KZN. And yeah, so I guess every Christmas for us is different. And I guess once either one of us gets married, it will change again and we could start a new Christmas culture. But one of my most memorable and quite interesting Christmases was one we spent in Kenya. Whilst we were traveling in Kenya, we got invited by a friend who is Kenyan from Mombasa that we must come and spend Christmas with her family since we were just around the corner from Mombasa. So they picked us up from the resort and we got there. I think there were about 30 people at the house and they'd prepared this wonderful feast. But what I did find interesting was the fact that in Kenyan culture, the children and the women dish up first, whereas here in South Africa, you start with the men. So with them, their view is that women and children eat less, so let them eat first. And as men, whatever is left, you're more than willing to flatten it. So that for me was also an eye-opener to say, hey, why do we do it this way? And in the Kenyan culture, they value protecting women and children and making sure that they are fed first. So if as a man you get a small piece, you can survive. So I just want to wish all our Success Rate viewers a Merry Christmas and a fruitful 2025. And may you be super, super successful in 2025. So Brian, I mean, you're very musical. And we're going into the festive season. And there are Christmas carols everywhere. What's your favorite carol?
Oh Holy Night.
Oh, Holy Night.
Yes, Oh Holy Night.
What makes it special?
No, it says, "Oh, Holy night, the stars are brightly shining."
Aye, yes, ropa, yes, ropa. Aye, yes, ropa. If you're going to do it, you've got to do it proper.
Look, I don't think it has a lot to do with Christmas. So that's why I
Yeah.
like it. It's like a gospel song for me.
Yes, yeah.
So that's why I love it so much, And Mariah Carey, for me, that version for me was the
beautiful.
epitome of Christmas, singing.
And what do you love about Christmas?
Sharing. I love the fact that that's what I teach my daughters, that we have to share, at that time, and family, and spending time with family, whether extended family or immediate family, and I love that. I love that it's about us. It's about family. It's about sharing, buying gifts and whatever. Whether there's gifts or not, actually, it doesn't matter. But for the fact that we are all in one space.
Sure. And your favorite Christmas memory?
My firstborn. I was living in the UK at the time, and she was little, and I think that Christmas I had gone, because me and her mother were not together. So that Christmas I had gone to see them and to see her, to spend it with her. And it's how she received me. She literally cried, and she said that it was the best Christmas she's ever had.
Okay. And we will not let you go without you singing
I'm
us
sure you will.
a little Christmas carol.
All right, let me see. Let me see the key, because I don't want to go too high,
Okay.
so that income might. We don't want that. And the song went, oh no, oh, that's the one. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining. Still he appears, and the soul world is worth a thrill of hope. The weary world rejoices. Oh yeah, the faith, a true and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angels' voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Something like that.
Yay. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Merry Christmas to all of you. I hope you guys are happy and you are with your families and you get all the gifts that Santa that Santa has to give. And Merry Christmas.